Washington orders an end of joint research beyond Israel's 1967 borders. And joining us now to discuss the brewing crisis in U.S. Israel relations is Dan Diker, president of the Jerusalem Center for Public Affairs, who will also be our guest later this evening on ILTV's Insider. Dan, the U.S. harshly condemned Israeli settlement policy and announced a reinstatement of the boycott on research across the Green Line. Republican Senator Ted Cruz called the move anti-Semitic. Has the Biden administration in effect given its okay to BDS in the territories?
Well, I think you said it very well, Steve. The United States has officially joined the Palestinian Authority, the PLO, and even the Hamas's policy of really erasure of boycotting Israel because of its postal code. And this is a very unfortunate development for U.S. policy. It clearly indicates that this administration is a continuation of the Obama administration policies. Israel has the full right to build in areas under its control, according to the Oslo II agreements of September 1995. The United States knows that. It can't possibly be inconsistent with American foreign policy because the United States administration under the Clinton administration were the signatory guarantors, in addition to the UN, the EU, Denmark, Russia, in the Oslo II agreement with the PLO, the Palestine Liberation Organization. So why is it that the United States doesn't penalize the Palestinian Authority for building housing starts in Area A, in areas under its full administrative control, or Area B, for that matter, under its administrative control? You don't hear a word. You hear a prejudicial...
Dan, I just want to get on to another issue. Netanyahu today confirmed that he's going to be going to Beijing. He's going to be traveling to China, an enemy, or certainly a fierce competitor of the United States. Is that going to make him any more welcome in Washington, the fact that he's going to China? He still hasn't gotten that invite to Washington. Is it a wise move?
Well, I think the administration didn't exactly express huge disappointment or dismay with the Chinese diplomatic mediation in the Middle East. Israel has new partners in the Middle East. We have a certain level of normalization, even with Saudi Arabia. We've got the Abraham Accord countries, Morocco, Bahrain, and the United Arab Emirates. There are many other countries that are reaching out to the Jerusalem Center for Public Affairs as a private institute, but asking for normalization with Israel. So we've got a vastly changing Middle East region, and I do think it's profoundly unfortunate that that President Biden has not yet invited his strongest ally in the region, the State of Israel, and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, to Washington.
Well, let me ask you this.
Minister Netanyahu,
why does he need an invitation? I remember there was a time some years ago, Obama was president. I was actually there in Washington at the time. Netanyahu showed up in Washington, spoke to Congress, made his pitch about the Iranian nuclear deal. There's another mini Iranian nuclear deal coming up. Might Netanyahu make a trip to Washington without an invitation from Biden?
It's possible. It depends whether he will receive an invitation from the Senate Majority Leader or not, which is what happened back in 2016. The State of Israel has many colleagues and friends. We have a relationship we do have a relationship with China, and needless to say, there are sensitivities, and one must be very careful in dealing with the Communist Party and the Communist regime in China. But we have commercial relationship with China in the Haifa port. We have a relationship with them in certain installations, utilities in the south. So Israel has options, but clearly Israel's best friend in the world is the United States, and I think it's deeply regrettable that the United States. The President of the United States, Joe Biden, who has been a many decades-old friend of Mr. Netanyahu and the State of Israel, has not yet invited his greatest friend to meet in Washington. Dan, my sense is he didn't do it.
No, I'm just sorry that we're running out of time, but I just wanted to say, and this is a personal thing I wanted to say to you, you should be a man that's representing Israeli policy around the world. Dan Diker, you're an amazing spokesman for the State of Israel. Let me just say that. And thanks for being with us today.
Thank you. Thank you, Stephen.